Planet Dolan.
From Santa canceling Christmas to imprisoning you for 2 years, the Planet Dolan crew reenact more of the best true stories from our subreddit about the worst punishments ever. I'm Doopy, and today I'll be your narrator. Number 10 was submitted by Shyena. One year, Emoji was so excited to find out what he was getting for Christmas that he snuck a peek while his parents were out. He very carefully unwrapped his gifts and discovered he hit the toy jackpot. When he was finished, he rewrapped them so they looked exactly how he'd found them. It was the perfect crime. On Christmas morning, Emoji tried not to give his secret away. He tore off the wrapping paper and found an empty box with a note in it. The note read, "I know you peeked at your presents. Christmas is now canceled. Love, Santa." Sure enough, Emoji no longer got those awesome presents. Damn, Santa, you're cold. Number 9 was submitted by Joey Rules 124. When Nixium was 12, one of his chores was mowing the lawn. He went outside and started up his dad's most prized possession, his brand new mower. As Nixium went around the yard cutting the grass, his mind started to wander. He forgot that his dad had recently planted a huge cherry tree right in the middle of the lawn and ended up running straight into it. The lawnmower made a horrible noise and died. Nixium's dad heard its screams and came racing outside. He looked at his dying lawnmower, then at his son, and said,
"You're dead to me, boy."
It took months of back-breaking chores for Nixium to pay off the broken lawnmower, and his dad didn't speak to him for an entire year. Number 8 was submitted by Witherboy123. One night, Hellbent and his family were playing an intense game of Monopoly. The game had gone on for hours and everyone was on edge, wanting to win. Hellbent's turn came and he picked up the dreaded "go directly to jail" card. Without thinking, he screamed,
"Fuck!"
forgetting that he was in front of his ultra-conservative parents. As punishment, Hellbent's parents sent him to the basement for a few hours. What's worse is that they made him spend those hours kneeling on uncooked grains of rice. Geez, Hellbent's parents have issues. Number 7 was submitted by CozyMexican. When Tulip was young, he used to fake being sick to get out of going to school. One day, his mom found out about his little deception and decided to dish up some creative punishment. She made Tulip eat the most horrible thing ever, his least favorite vegetable, broccoli, with a mixture of vinegar, barbecue sauce, and peanut butter. Tulip nearly passed out after one bite, but his mom forced him to eat the whole thing. The funny thing is, he ended up genuinely sick from eating this, but his mom made him go to school and suffer. Number 6 was submitted by LonesomeMuse. Pringle was a very weird child. Unlike most kids, he loved eating his vegetables, especially spinach. One time, he went to a fancy dinner party at his aunt's house and impressed everyone by eating all his vegetables. For dessert, his aunt brought out a big chocolate cake with cherry frosting. Pringle didn't want any of this because he was super fussy about desserts. But his dad insisted he have some because otherwise it would be rude to the host. They ended up having a big argument at the table, and when Pringle started crying, his dad shouted,
That's it! If you won't eat this cake, you're not allowed to have spinach for a week!
This made Pringle cry even harder. It was the worst punishment he could ever imagine. Number 5 was submitted by Joe Pesci. When Dolan was little, he went on an awesome Boy Scouts camping trip. To get there, they had to drive for several hours and take a long boat ride. Over the week, Dolan, being Dolan, broke all the scout rules and got caught littering and wandering off. His scout leaders got so annoyed with him that they took away his seasickness pills as punishment. Dolan got really severe seasickness and spent the whole boat trip and most of the car ride vomiting. That's so brutal. Number 4 was submitted by Pastelkai. When Pandora was little, her mom was not very nice to her. Over time, Pandora got so sick of her mom's behavior that she decided to run away from home. For a while, Pandora was happy, but then her terrifying mother found her. Her punishment was to be kept inside and have all of her electronics taken away. That sounds pretty normal, right? Well, this punishment lasted 2 whole years. Now that all that time has passed, Pandora acts like a total angel, but she secretly still hates her mom's guts. Number 3 was submitted by ThatGeekSapphira. When Kyle was in high school, he got into a fight with a bully who was always picking on him. When his dad found out about this, he took literally everything out of Kyle's room as punishment, even his bed. Kyle had to suffer sleeping on the cold, hard floor for 2 weeks, all because he dared to stand up for himself. Number 2 was submitted by Amy47101. When Andy was in high school, her dad was insanely strict. He was a huge gun fanatic who got super angry whenever he stopped taking his blood pressure medication. One day, Andy got into a huge argument with him about her grades. Her dad said he was so sick of her attitude and demanded she hand over all her electronics, which included her laptop, iPad, and DS. The DS was his least favorite of the bunch, so he took it and said,
If you didn't play this thing, you wouldn't be such immature white trash.
Andy then watched as he took her DS outside and shot 4 bullets in it, one for each member of the family that she had supposedly disappointed. Well, that's not an overaction or anything. Number 1 was submitted by me. When I was little, I used to love watching Popeye the Sailor Man, and if you don't know what that is, you're too young. I'm just kidding. It's basically a sailor who eats spinach and becomes immediately strong and saves his girlfriend from trouble. Now, I was a dumb kid, and I literally thought that if you ate spinach, you would immediately gain muscles. And so, for some stupid reason, I wanted to eat spinach. I had never had it before, and I was so convinced that it must make you strong like Popeye immediately. So, I made my parents go all the way to Walmart and buy me spinach, and over again they kept telling me, you're not gonna like it, you're not gonna like it, you're not gonna like it, and if you don't like it, you're still gonna eat it. I obviously didn't listen to them, so I sat at the table ready for my meal, and when they poured a big bowl of spinach in front of me, the smell immediately made me gag. However, I was determined to gain muscles. I took one big bite, waited, and I waited, and I waited, and nothing happened. And I was so upset. I couldn't believe that it didn't work. And the worst part is, I was so stubborn and wouldn't listen to my parents that now my dad was trying to force me to eat this big bowl of spinach. Luckily, my mom was so caring at the time that she eventually just told my dad I ate it when I didn't. Whoopsie. Huge thanks to the folks over on our Planet Dolan subreddit for submitting their stories. We have another question for you. What's the worst way someone has broken up with you? Let us know in the Reddit page link below, and you might be featured in a future countdown. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.
My hands are covered in pee. A teacher walked over and asked what was going on. Before Dolan could say anything, the girl yelled, "He peed in my pants!" The teacher looked disgusted and sent Dolan to timeout. He sat there, baffled.